Welcome to Inside Gaming, I'm Brian. So there's some good news and bad news for Borderlands 3. Good news, it's selling really well. The bad news, it's crashing some people's consoles, so that is not great. Let's do the bad news first. So multiple people who own Xbox One X's have been reporting that the game is making their console overheat, which in turn is forcing the machines to shut down. Now, someone even posted a video of the problem. They were showing themselves in the middle of a boss fight. Console completely crashes, then it reboots with a warning about overheating. It's kind of weird though, because the Xbox One X it's the most powerful console on the market.
6 teraflops of computing capability to power.
They're really going for it.
And delivering the world's most powerful console.
Power! 6 teraflops of GPU power.
Surely can handle Borderlands 3. Other people with Xbox One X's have also noticed it, and they're reporting it to publisher 2K, but 2K's answer, not exactly reassuring. In a ticket that was posted on the Xbox One subreddit, a 2K support rep says that we've been able to collect enough info about this issue to notify the development team, and they are currently working on a fix. But they said they don't have a timeline on when the fix will actually get here. Well, that makes sense. They're customer service reps. They're not on the development side, but geez, it's not reassuring. One Reddit user, OCat1979, said, "It's happened twice to me playing Borderlands 3 on my X. Never had it happen with any other game, even Red Dead Redemption 2, where I can tell the fans are running all the time when I'm playing that." They added, "It's clearly a game issue and not a console ventilation problem." Now, Borderlands 3 is just a few weeks old, but from the start, we've been seeing reports from PC and high-end console users that the game's performance leaves a lot to be desired, especially when you try to run it on the highest settings. Specifically, there have been issues reported on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, but those had to do with frame rates, not melting down your console. Now, they did release a patch on Friday that did address some performance issues, as well as fixing the kilovolt boss fight. On PC, the patch, quote, reduced the amount of texture streaming that was occurring when aiming down sights. It also addressed an issue where certain users with a lot of people in their friends list saw more frequent hitching. I will never have that problem. And it also added general stability improvements. Now, the patch notes didn't mention the Xbox One X by name, but we'll see if it addressed it. Hopefully. Meanwhile, the game has been selling like hotcakes. In a report earlier this week, 2K said that Borderlands 3 has sold 5 million units in its first 5 days. That makes it the fastest selling game in 2K's history. That's 50% more than Borderlands 2 did during the same time, and that went on to sell 22 million units, so it's a pretty good sign. 2K also said that initial sales of Borderlands 3 have exceeded the label's expectations, and in particular, PC sales of the title through the Epic Games Store have been incredibly strong. You see how they got that little zinger in there? Now, they didn't break out PC sales, but we've all been curious as to how it would do, considering it's an exclusive on the Epic Games Store. There's been a big backlash online. Now, previously, Gearbox chief executive Randy Pitchford tweeted that Borderlands 3 doubled the number of peak simultaneous online players as Borderlands 2 did, so as of now, it doesn't seem like the boycott threats did that much, so we'll see. All right, moving on, we finally got a release date for Last of Us 2, and it's next year. Boo! It's coming out February 21st. A big reveal from the trailer is that Joel is back.
Yeah!
And he's old. Shout out to everyone on Twitter who told me I look like him. Screw you guys. Still, at least we finally have a date. I can't wait to play. Oh, and one more piece of news. No multiplayer. Although Factions was actually good in the first game, but still, in a statement, Naughty Dog addressed the decision to not have multiplayer, saying that the single-player campaign is far and away the most ambitious project they've ever undertaken. They said that as development began on the evolution of our Factions mode from The Last of Us Part 1, the vision of the team grew beyond an additional mode that could be included with our enormous single-player campaign. But it sounds like multiplayer might be split into its own thing. They added that you will eventually experience the fruits of our team's online ambitions. That sounds weird. Just not as part of The Last of Us 2. How that will happen, though, yet to be determined. But it sounds like maybe not DLC, but maybe a standalone multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that's what that was kind of what I gathered from it, was that it's going to be broken out and be its own. I don't know if it's still going to be part of The Last of Us, like banner
faction zombie mode.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, it's coming, and I think this
clicker battle royale.
Oh God, no.
Moving on, Anthem's Cataclysm event recently ended. or did it? The limited time event was supposed to come to an end earlier this week, but the weekly reset apparently brought back all the event's areas. So why did they do that? Well, BioWare hasn't said, but it could be because there's not much to do in the game otherwise. BioWare recently said it was completely getting rid of its season's roadmaps because they're still working on core issues of the game several months in, so maybe they left it in just because it's some content. Meanwhile, EA has said that it's coming to EA Access, so sorry everybody who paid $60 for it. I'm sure they already feel sorry, though.
Yeah.
It's EA Access is not, that's just more dirt on the grave. Yeah. All right, moving on. After 5 years and a million free updates, Yacht Club Games says it is finally done with Shovel Knight. The fantastic indie 2D side-scroller started as a Kickstarter back in 2013, released a year later. Since then, it's gone on to sell more than 2.6 million units. They have released a ton of updates and free expansions, but COO James Chan says that the last two content updates, King of Cards and Showdown, will be the last. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, he said he's asked a lot of times for advice from newer developers, and he said the first thing we tell them is please watch your stretch goals. We've been developing this for 5 straight years now. It's just content updates, and it's all free content updates because it's stuff we promised. We're very lucky to have fans who bought multiple copies or are bringing other people in, which allows us to continue to make the game. Hey dude, it's been 5 years. Y'all gave us our money's worth. We give you permission to move on now, officially. Lots of gaming devs and console makers are promising to get greener. Both Microsoft and Sony have made pledges to reduce the environmental impact of their consoles. Sony plans to offer the next PlayStation with a low power mode. SIE CEO Jim Ryan says that if 1 million gamers use that option, that could save enough energy to power 1,000 American homes, so there you go. Meanwhile, Microsoft said it will make 825,000 carbon neutral Xboxes, and it's going to use Minecraft as a platform to promote real-life sustainability initiatives. Okay. Meanwhile, Google Stadia said it's going to fund research on how to inspire people to embrace greener behavior through games. Thanks, Google Stadia.
That's such a Google statement. Hey guys, we're not actually going to do anything. What we're going to do is we're going to inspire you to do something.
Right. What about the bazillion data centers you run that are directly contributing to this? Just saying. And Ubisoft, not to be left out, says it's going to put green themes into its games and will get materials from eco-friendly factories. Well, that's just great, Ubisoft. All right, time for a 5-second review. More Borderlands.
Right, you've just been playing more Dragon Quest.
Damn right I have. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's move on to some games coming out next week. Up first, it's the somewhat surreal 2D adventure horror game Third Eye. In it, you'll play as a girl who has spent most of her life locked up in a room. I was like that, fearing the power of her third eye. Well, I didn't have a third eye.
I was about to say, that was also like you, right?
No. Now she must explore the world while reading people's thoughts to try and find her missing sister. It's coming out for PC September 30th. Up next, porting over to the Switch, it's Sniper Elite 3 Ultimate Edition. In this third-person tactical World War II shooter, you'll stalk your targets through the canyons, oases, and cities of North Africa. The Ultimate Edition includes all the DLC missions and extra weapons, and playing on the Switch means motion controls. There you go. Not sure that's a feature you really want to brag about, but it's in there. Anyway, you can pick it up October 1st for the Switch. Also porting over to the Switch, it's 80 Days. It's 1872 with a steampunk twist. Oh boy. Phileas Fogg, that's a steampunk name, has made a bet that he can circumnavigate the world in only 80 days. As Phileas's loyal valet, you'll need to balance your master's health, finances, and time as you travel by airship, submarine, mechanical camel, and more, all the while racing other players and a clock that never stops. It's out for the Switch October 1st. What the Golf is a golf game for people who hate golf. It's a silly puzzle game that honestly has been getting a lot of positive buzz since it was released on Apple Arcade. In it, you'll launch golfers down the course, drive cars onto the driving range, and try to get a home in one. Aaron assures me that is not a typo. Looks like a fun game. You can pick it up for PC October 1st. This next game is a very weeby visual novel called You Know, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Who knew it would be a weeb game with a title like that? Anyway, here's the Steam description. Your love awaits beyond this world. During his vacation from Sakamachi Academy, Takuya Arima receives a package from his supposedly deceased father. It contains the mysterious reflector device, which allows the user to travel between parallel worlds. With help from his friends, teachers, and lovers, Takuya, alright pimp, must unearth the mystery of his father's legacy to prevent a calamity threatening to envelop reality itself. Yeah, it's a weeb game. It's coming out for PC, PS4, and Switch October 1st. Surprisingly, Warsaw is not a World War II real-time strategy game. It is, however, a World War II turn-based tactical RPG. A role-playing game, not a rocket-propelled grenade, but I assume those are in there as well. Anyway, the game boasts hand-painted graphics and a story where you'll lead a small dedicated group of civilians and soldiers fighting to take back their city from occupying forces. It's out for PC October 2nd. The Long Return is a third-person puzzle game where you play as an orphaned cub retracing his steps from the last journey he took with his mother. Aww. The devs call it a casual, laid-back game that focuses on delivering a relaxing gameplay experience full of beautiful scenery to explore and challenging puzzles to solve. And it's made by one dude named Max Nielsen, so that's cool. It's coming to PC October 3rd. In Paranoia, happiness is mandatory. Creepy. You're in humanity's last idyllic refuge known as Alpha Complex. Alpha Complex is controlled by Friend Computer, and all citizens enjoy life. Don't forget, though, that questioning the benevolence of Friend Computer is an act of treason. Having access to information beyond your security clearance is an act of treason. Refusing to drink your daily dose of bouncy bubble beverage? You guessed it, treason. By the way, treason is punishable by summary execution, so luckily, you're part of a team of troubleshooters who go around finding trouble and shoot it. It is literally right there in the job title. Follow Friend Computer's orders and hunt down the traitors, or else. You can pick this one up on PC October 3rd. In NeoCab, you play as Lena, the last human driver for hire in Los Ojos. You need to chat with your passengers while navigating the city grid to maintain your perfect rating and keep your job, but balancing your monetary needs, the needs of your passengers, and your emotional health, no easy matter. Add to that your friend and only lifeline has gone missing, and well, things aren't looking great for you. It's coming out on PC and Switch October 3rd. When there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you gonna call?
Dude, I live in an apartment in the middle of Austin, Texas. There's always something strange going on.
Fair enough. Anyway, Ghostbusters, the video game remastered, brings the critically acclaimed Ghostbusters game back with updated visuals and some new ghosts to bust. And of course, it features the voices and in-game likenesses of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. That's important. Pinned with an original story by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. It's coming to PC via the Epic Games Store, as well as PS4, Xbox One, and Switch October 4th. And finally, to close things out, it's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You've been shot down behind enemy lines. Now you gotta find supplies, find allies, and figure out what's going on. To make things worse, your enemies are former ghosts who have betrayed their country. Snitch ghosts, I call them. They're armed with powerful tech and they're hunting you down. You can pick it up for PC, PS4, and Xbox One October 4th. All right, that's all the news we've got for you this week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming. Today we're reviewing Borderlands 3, the Borderlands we had to wait a long time for. We are very obviously huge fans here, but there's some good and some bad about it. We'll get right into it though, and when you really swinging for it, huh?
I'm watching my figure.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little boxy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I guess we'll start with